All right. So first, wait, one more question.
Okay.
Okay. So first, I want you to start off with saying your name and profession.
Okay. My name's Oreste DAversa, and I'm a business coach, consultant, and trainer.
Okay. So explain to us what quiet quitting is.
Quiet quitting is a term that's been created for folks who have a job and just do no more than their job requirement states. Whatever their job description is, they don't do anything more than what's stated on that job requirement.
Okay, so what are ways to prevent quiet quitting?
Well, it's really about communications and really about the communication between an employee and employer. The first question is what caused an employee to really get in the mode of quiet quitting? What has transpired? Is it one event, a series of events? Is the employee not keeping busy enough or giving responsible work? Is it a supervisor? It's about personalities. So I would say communication really is the first thing to get to the cause of what initiated the quiet quitting process in an employee.
Perfect. So explain some ways that people quiet quit, like some examples.
Well, they just start shutting down. They just basically just start doing less and less at work. If their job requirement is to do, let's say, job task A, B, and C, that's all they do is job task A, B, and C. They don't look for job task D, E, and F, or speak to their supervisor or manager and say, what else can I do? How else can I help? What else does the company need that I can be of assistance?
I notice, like, a lot of young people have this issue with quiet quitting, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. So what are ways that they can encourage employees to refrain from quiet quitting?
Well, really, communication, really, to be proactive and ask your supervisor manager, what can I do? What does the company need? How can I be of assistance? My concern is, and I would say these past 20 years, and I don't want to put complete blame on the younger generation, is my concern is all of us are living more and more behind screens, be it a mobile phone, be it a computer screen, and we're not interacting with our fellow people, fellow employees, and fellow customers and vendors. So what's happening is we're losing a lot of that interpersonal dynamic. So to answer your question, I think one very important thing is to get back to work in a physical location and have interpersonal skills. Now, granted, the pandemic has been an issue, and there's been an adjustment period, and to some degree there is still some adjustment, but we need to get to places where we can interact with each other and share and learn interactive skills and interpersonal skills.
I agree. So with quiet quitting, a lot of people, it's basically them just doing the bare minimum at their job, correct?
Yes, that's the concept of quiet quitting. Basically, in their mind, they haven't actually quit the job, but in their mind, they've resigned, and they're just doing the basics to keep their job, which unfortunately there's another side of the coin. Then there's quiet firing, which now the employer starts not giving you any more work to the point you start saying to yourself, why am I there? And then you actually quit and leave the job.
So hitting you less on the schedule.
Exactly.
And not really depending on you.
Right, exactly. And before you were an integral part of the team, and now all of a sudden you're not. You're being called upon less and less. You're given less and less responsibility and quiet firing. You're getting to the point where you go to work and you're saying to yourself, what am I doing here? I'm not really doing anything at all. So what's the point?
Right. So is it common to get fired for quiet quitting, or quiet firing? Is that common?
Well, it's not about actually people. People are making the decision to leave on their own. Because usually many people who have jobs are signing employee agreements, and companies usually don't want the bad press of firing people unless they really have to. My concern is what's happening because of the lack of or less opportunity for the interpersonal skills. Everyone's starting to work in a silo in their mind, and that's not good. Companies and organizations are meant to be interactive. Companies and organizations are like, if you look at a clock, all the positions have gears that interact with one another. The clock is not made to run by individual gears. So what's happening now is we're having people who are siloing themselves, and not in a positive way or a good way. There's a time to work by yourself as an individual, and then there's a time to be part of the team. But the team is more important than the individual, that everything has to work together for the betterment of the organization. Whatever the organizational goals are, be it revenue or if it's a nonprofit, be it goals and objectives, that's what everyone should be working towards and pulling towards.
So can you explain the importance of having balance in work life?
Well, we've gotten to a point now, I think we're going to, I'm not going to call it a revolution, but I am going to call it an evolution. I think we're going to a point where we're seeing an evolution in the workplace, like there was in the 1800s when people were working 6 days a week, 18 hours a day. I think we're going to a point where we're seeing an evolution in the workplace of work-life balance being important. We're seeing that in England, for instance. In England, they're trying an experiment now that people work 4 days a week and they're off 3 days. And surprisingly enough, they're seeing very positive results, and they're seeing more productivity out of people working 4 days rather than 5. So we may be moving towards an evolution in the workplace of things changing that way, and it may benefit everyone. What we're looking for is a win-win-win situation. Win the employee, win the employer, and win the organization as a whole of the employer. We want everyone to win, and I think once we see a win situation, we're going to start seeing some changes in the workplace.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me and teaching us more about quiet quitting. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. I'm sure the audience is going to learn a lot, too.
Very good. I want to thank you for having me as a guest on your show.
No problem. Anytime. Oh, also, I wanted to let you know that I apologize for the unprofessional email.
That's okay. That's okay. I know you're learning. That's why I figured I sent you the email. I figured you'd get the hint, and you did. So you stepped up real well, and you did the right thing, and it worked out. But my suggestion to you in the future, if you're going to approach people, even if you're asked by your supervisor manager, just make a little template of a couple of questions, like I wrote for you, and then approach people, because what will happen is people will take you more seriously. They know what you're looking for, and also, as you know, people's time is important just as your time is important.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I definitely will use your template.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, and once again, have a good day. All right. Bye-bye.